First thing we're going to do is take the shock out. There's a lock nut and a nut on top. And there's 2 bolts under the bottom. There they are. Kind of hard to get the camera in position here. My tripod's too tall. So we're going to take a little impact, zip the lock nut off. You may not have a lock nut on yours. And we'll get the nut off. Sometimes you might have to use a vice grip on it, but now for the lower 2 bolts. Turns out one of mine, the nut that's supposed to be welded on top of the lower control arm, is either broke loose or stripped, and somebody replaced it with a loose nut. That's something I'll fix when I get to the lower control arm. Get that thing off. There's a shock coming out. Yep, feel a nut still up in there, a loose nut. Alright. Next thing you want to remove is the lower control arm bumper. And you'll see why here in just a minute. Turn my wheel a little bit, get that nut up, bolt out. Trying to have it where you can see as much as possible, but it's kind of hard to film. Kind of a cramped spot. There's a steel plate underneath that bumper. Make sure you keep that with the bumper so you don't lose it. Next thing you're going to do, remove the caliper. Notice in the lower right hand corner there's an upside down bucket. That's just the perfect height. Yeah, I did a complete brake job on the C3, only to find out my lower ball joints were bad, so now I'm doing a complete front end suspension overhaul. The passenger side's done, and that's why I learned all these tricks the hard way on the passenger side. And eventually we'll get that bolt out. I think we're about to get it. Yay. Now here's the secret. There's no place to hang that caliper really in there. So what I found is if you take the lower control arm bumper off, and you can pass the caliper over to the bucket. So those little wooden blocks right there keep the pistons from pushing out. So now pass right behind the spindle, and you can lay it on the bucket, and it's out of the way. Oops, I mean, you know, you can see those little wooden blocks that I cut out of some scrap. Oops, let's untangle the hose here. Alright, I'm happy that's way out of my way. And I didn't have to disconnect the brakes. So now you can pull the rotor off. Of course, I just put those on about a month ago, so it's pretty easy to get off. Now I'm going to take the tie rod off. And yeah, it's pretty tight. Yeah. Get a breaker bar. It's surprising how quick and easy you can take the front end apart. Up to this point anyhow. Yeah, we're going to get it off. And that nut's got a little bit of rust or something on it, so it's slightly oversized. It's kind of hard to get the socket on it. There you go. We'll back that nut out to where it's just about flush with the top of the threads. I know all the old timers, they saying, alright, get your pickle fork out and beat the tar out of it. That ain't gonna happen.
That's good enough.
This little tool here I got from Harbor Freight for $20. And it's adjustable in height, so it works for different height items. Right now I'm in the lower hole for this ball joint. I get pretty good tension on it. I should just get all my tools at once before I sit down, huh? Alright, now I'm going to tap the top of it with the hammer. It didn't move, so I'm going to put a little more tension on it. Yeah, let's try it now. Bam, it's out. That easy. Now I think the tie rod, or the tie rod ball is just spinning in the socket, so it'll get replaced. Yep, I'm just verifying that it is spinning and not coming off. We'll get another tool. And we got it off. I guess the nut's got some burrs on it or something. Gotta beat it out of the socket with a screwdriver and a hammer. Alright. Tie rod's off. Next thing we're going to do is going to take the sway bar link off. And there we go. At this point, we're ready to take the ball joints loose from the pivot. See you in the next video. Bye.